at 1,000 subscribers, I will do an episode with this balanced on my head the entire time. Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 33, and today's subject is going to be a deep dive of survival hunter play on Heroic Garrosh. Woo, as promised, I'm finally back in the saddle, back from vacation, had a good time, did some interesting things, actually did raid testing on vacation, which I had to do last year too for Siege of Orgrimmar. I don't know, Blizzard needs to stop doing raid testing during my vacation. Yeah, that's right. But anywho, I am back, and we'll be talking about Heroic Garrosh here in a minute, but I wanted to take a few minutes, please, I beg you for just a few minutes, to sort of catch up with everything and let you know all of what's going on for me at the moment. First off, last week's Raid Doctors episode, or last time's Raid Doctors episode has been a bit more than a week, but anywho, gotten sort of a few people here and there talking to me, not any official, like, sending me a private message or anything, but yeah, just been sort of talking to some people and helping them out and talking some, sort of minor things so far, not any official things. Talked to someone about how to do Heroic Garrosh, or not Heroic, but normal mode Garrosh, and, just some tips and tricks and all those kind of fun. So yeah, Raid Doctors, please keep spreading the word. I am available. I am here to cure what ails your raid. So yes, keep going with that. And then I am catching up on schedule for Overrated. So this episode here is going to be Heroic Garrosh. Next episode, or maybe the one after that, I am lining up to have Agathon from TankSpot come on and just sort of do a whole let's reflect back on how this tier went, or the expansion, sort of an end of the expansion, end of tier type wrap-up type show. I had that idea way back, and now we're finally done. We can have that. He's moving, and yeah, it's all sort of coming together, and I got him there. We got the subject, so let's do that show that I sort of promised for many, many episodes. So yeah, look forward to that soon. Then next up, as I said, I was doing beta raid testing on my vacation, so I do have some footage, and I actually already have two boss encounter raid guides out. The first one was the Gruul Heroic, so that's there, and then I just recently put out the Twin Ogrun. It's a really weird name. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. I may have said it completely wrong in the entire raid guide. But whatever. That encounter on Heroic, I have that raid guide out. And I'm in the process tonight, tomorrow, of getting the Ore Gorger encounter out there. There was a fourth encounter, which was actually the first one that they betaed last week, and called the Butcher. That one was just terrible raid testing. Just no one could get on. You'd be on for like 30 seconds, DC'd. It was just blah. Blizzard admitted that it was a terrible raid session themselves and said they'll probably retest that encounter at some other point. So there may be some people who did get lucky enough to get into the instance and actually pull him. I managed to see the boss and like wave to him, but like only one other person was in there with me. No one else could stay on reliably. So again, I got 3 out of the 4 raid encounters that have been tested so far. Got guides for those coming out, or if they should be out at this point. So look for that, and obviously look for future raid testing. I'll be streaming them if I can, if it's all stable and everything. And yeah, then a couple more, and then we'll get to Heroic Garrosh. I promise. Oh yeah, and Heroic Garrosh is apparently a drinking game now. It's TankSpot. If I say that, every time I say that, you're supposed to take a drink, I guess. Again, drink responsibly. Water, I don't know. Anyway, but I don't know. They just say it. I apparently say it a lot. Well, you're going to get it today, and you may get it one more time. But anywho, I will have a raid guide for that soon. Probably after I'm done with the beta stuff here in this end of this week or something. I don't know. We'll see. And last one, I promise. We'll get to the deep dive. I am going to be a co-host. I just found this out today. I'm going to be a co-host on a podcast called The Edge. I'll put some links to it and such, but happy to be dipping my toes into the podcasting waters. It's kind of an interesting, different format. I've been, sitting up here talking by myself, and I can just ramble on for 20 plus minutes. But now I'm going to actually have other people to interact with on a regular basis and throw things off them and throw things at them. No. But anywho, happy to be doing that. So check that out soon. Again, I'll put links in the description, all that other jazz. But yeah, so lots going on. Thank you for letting me catch up on all of that stuff. It's been a while. At least I feel it's been a while. But what we are doing today is Heroic Garrosh from a survival hunter's point of view. And before I switch over to the video and start talking about different points, let me just note that I have a couple special jobs that were assigned to me by the raid group in this fight. I was on the siege engineer duty, so I go with a couple other hunters and a mage, and we kill the siege engineer, and then I come back, and yada yada. I am also a malice stack point for phase 4, which we'll obviously get to way into the fight. And I'm also one of the soak group for the 4th malice, which is a tricky one, which you'll see again in the raid guide and other things. And yeah, if you know the encounter, you know what I'm talking about, but we'll get there anyway. But I just want to sort of note, I had some special jobs. Certainly the siege engineer duty hurt my DPS overall. I tried to sort of help it out by having my pet be on passive and have a macro with my black arrow that would send him out so that he would always be on my primary target. So in the beginning, my pet is always on Garrosh and I, just barely don't outrange him. So for the most part, siege engineer wise, that's what the other hunters were doing. And so we were just sort of barely making sure we could get him killed, not using our pets. But anywho, we made it, obviously. But the best spec for the most part that I've seen has been Beast Mastery. But again, you can do that with siege engineer duty. It's just a little bit trickier, and I sort of stuck with what I knew and went from there. So, without further ado, let's dive into Heroic Garrosh Survival Hunter Point of View. So here we go. We did this pull a million times, and so my opening rotation was just like clockwork. It's like, glaive toss on the pre-pot and get up black arrow and hope for procs and all that other stuff. Again, I was on siege engineer duty, so I did throw out a serpent, a multi-shot there to get some extra damage on those ads, but they just sort of melted. Again, gotta go over here for the siege engineer, try to use up lock and loads quickly, try to get them down, and then I'm using the lock portal here to get back quickly so that we don't aggro the wolf rider that's coming in. But yeah, that's phase 1, that's all that other jazz. I do try to help out on interrupts for the wolf rider, but he again dies pretty quickly, and try to get out of this. I am, for the most part, trying to use a second rapid fire here, but I'm also trying to avoid being near those ads, like there's a second rapid fire. I am also trying to keep black arrow so that I do have a sort of, hopefully have a lock and load proc when I'm on engineer. I don't have one right here. I think I do get one near the end. Yeah, there's a proc, but that's from it being on Garrosh, not being on the siege engineer. So again, try to make sure black arrow's out there so that I can make sure or at least have a better chance of getting the lock and load to make sure the engineer dies. Phase 1 transition here, this first transition is pretty tight. I am saving my black arrow, and I'm making sure that my glaive toss is going to be up because I really want to maximize my damage on these things. So again, start with the glaive toss, multi-shots, get my pet in there, do all that kind of fun jazz. I'm not responsible specifically for stunning them and interrupting them. I am responsible for a single target interrupt, and I did use my binding shot there because I sort of felt like we were near the end and it was safe. Again, always stand near the orbs and let someone else pop them. Otherwise, you're that douche guy who, oh, no one's got the debuff, but this one guy did. So don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Be the nice guy who's just near the bubble and let someone else pop it. Anywho, not much to talk about here. You would be, if you're really low or something, you can use deterrence. But then again, depending on your raid strategy, we are 3 tanking and 4 healing this. So you'll see we don't get one of the transition points or one of the DPS checks. But anywho, you kind of want to maximize your DPS. So using deterrence there might not work out for you, but I don't know. I am using post haste, and I'll note why here. I am trying to disengage quickly back and be able to get quickly in for mind controls. You'll see that used to better effect later in the fight. But there really isn't too much going on in this phase. Our tank dies here, which this is a great pull. This is the kill. Our tank dies. Woo! I do try to. You'll see I got some ticking damage on the weapon there. I wasn't primarily responsible for that, but I thought, hey, it can't hurt. We weren't like killing the weapons, but we were making sure that they were low, so I would just throw like a Serpent Sting. You could like really cheese and have like your Black Arrow on there and really have a lot of damage going out. That was your Black Arrow, but I was like, screw that. I'm going to make sure that my Black Arrow is guaranteed to be on a target that's not going to die. So, I sort of saved it for Garrosh. For mind controls that you just saw, I really, at least for these first ones, really didn't do much at all. People were just AoEing like mad. I mean, warriors, GG, it's all guns. So I really didn't focus on, multi-shotting and getting serpent spread on everyone. But, whatever. Get really low here, but healer's getting me back up. That's cool. And then, again, not too much to talk about here. We can talk talents in a little bit because there's going to be sort of an intermission phase that we don't really do anything. But again, mind controls not really doing much to people. I mean, you can actually get a bit more damage if you serpent spread. It actually will count for you, which is kind of a douche move. Yeah, you got serpent spread on your raid, and it's counting for your damage and upping your DPS. But no. If you don't have to, if your raid's killing it quickly, don't even worry about it. Again, we're not going to make the DPS check here and avoid a second transition, but I'm getting kill shots in now. Well, actually, I'm not, because I got a major lock and load proc there that was just like ridiculous. I didn't even barely get to use. I didn't get to use kill shot at all. So, yeah, that was a big lock and load streak. But this one, we just AFK this entire minute here in this transition, which is a strategy used these days with gear upgrades and all that other kind of stuff. If your raid group can't miss this phase, then this is like the recommended thing. Again, much of this will be in the guide to the whole raid encounter, but whatever, just noting that. Talent-wise, while we have the time, I'm using Fervor because that is what I am used to. Again, Thrill of the Hunt might be a better AoE spec for this, and make him sim out overall best, but I am just totally used to Fervor at this point and can't be torn away from it at this point. I'm using Glaive Toss, and I am using Murder of Crows. If you can use it right, you can get some extra bits of it. It's just a better single target thing to do. Coming out of this transition, I am using most of my cooldowns, and I am using post haste here, as you'll see, to get myself back in quickly. I still have the post haste buff on me as we're running back in. You can sort of cheese that or do that nicely. I am saving. You'll note I have Stampede just about to come out on cooldown, but I don't use it because we're gonna do Lust here very soon once we get to phase 3, so I don't mess with that. Our phase 2.5 strategy is just sort of run as a group and end up in the same place. If you get in a bind, you could use a deterrence here. I do want to save it for my phase 4 malice duties, so I don't use it. I do use it a little later, but I don't just yet. Again, trying to get in quickly for mind controls. On On these mind controls, I am trying, well, this one doesn't happen, but you'll see on the Phase 3 one, I do try to help out with those. I do use Stampede. I apparently didn't hit my bind for using my pot, so whoops. I don't even discover that at all. So whoops, I did not second pot on this. Bad me. A tank dies and I don't second pot. This is a terrible pull. Should have just wiped it at this point. No. Anywho, you'll see me here switch and make sure that I do help with mind controls because these ones are obviously a bit more dangerous. And obviously I'm hovering, making sure if there's no one's getting an interrupt off, I'm helping out with that. We are back in execute range, so kill shots become a priority. Of course, lock and load and explosive shots are more of a priority, but I do use deterrence here because this is a fairly rough phase, or it had been for us. But yeah, I do a terrible disengage into the weapon from the throne. I don't know what that was. If you can tell me, it was terrible. I am ending up using most of my raid CDs again here. Probably a waste because we were going to hit this DPS check anyway, but I was like, yeah, I got my CDs up. I did use Murder of Crows at sub whatever 30% of whatever it is, so I do get it recharged fairly quickly. And he's pushed, so this is phase 4 coming up. If you haven't seen this, it's pretty cool. I do skip the cinematic. I'm sorry. We're all like, just get through. Don't worry about the cinematic. We'll look at it later. So I still don't even know what it says. Oh well. But yeah, phase 4. Here we go. One note: as soon as the boss spawns, you can send your pet. Yay! Go Amber, which is my pet name. Go kill stuff. You're all sort of stunned here. You can't move yet until now. So, as you note, I do have a raid marker on me, and I said I am part of the Malice stack group. We're doing the whole 2 range stack groups, and so I try to position myself next to the other ranged group so that people have the ability to switch back and forth quickly. Again, this is more raid strategy guys as opposed to hunter. At this point, I'm still terrible, and I don't see that I haven't used my pot, but just really at this point, it's all about burning him, making sure you handle Malice, and, you win. The only sort of major thing coming up will be on the 4th Malice, and I'll point that out here in a little bit. We're getting the 2nd Malice here, and again, all at this point, this is all about just burn, use your cooldowns, get through it. I am saving my deterrence for that 4th Malice, so, make sure you're not using that. This is just get away from fire, don't die, etc., etc. People, we get a roar here, so we're all moving pretty quickly, getting away from stuff. I am trying, Malice is coming up in about 3 seconds, so I'm trying to get repositioned with the other stack point. And there's the Malice that just came out. This, kind of gets a little rough. We do get some extra stacks here, I believe. Oh, no, not on that one. But, anywho, I think it's on this. Nope. No, we didn't. Anywho, the 4th Malice is coming up, which coincides with a bombardment, and is kind of a tricky phase. Oh, yeah. Good job, our monk tank, Asta. Good job hitting him at the exact right point. Good job. Yay. Anyway, this Malice coming out, we want to be soaked by a soak group consisting of hunters and warlocks who can take multiple stacks. So I get 1 stack, 2 stack. Now I am popping my first deterrence, and I'm making sure I stay in there, and we're still soaking this thing. And we're avoiding other stuff. I use my 2nd deterrence as soon as I can, and then by that time the Malice is gone and bombardment's over. So we're running back over here, getting all situated for the 5th Malice, which we do as normal, just the 2 stack groups. We did have melee come out to help the stack groups because when we almost die there. Ooh, really tight there on that Malice. But we did have 1 melee come out to each group because we did have 2 range dead at this point. Bombardment 3 is out. We do spawn another Iron Star. Whoops. Not good. But boss is almost dead. We're all like, oh, we're so close. And then we're like, oh, wait. There's another Malice. And we're nowhere stacked where we need to. And it explodes. And we all freaking die. Except he dies soon afterwards. So yay. Yay, we made it. So very happy. So very happy I didn't double pot, and that our tank died earlier. But anywho, you've seen pretty much, most of the little tips and tricks. If you're interested, I do roll and don't get anything out of the roll. I don't get a heroic BOA, and I don't get the mount. And I did get an essence tier token heroic one just to be used for off spec. No one really needed them, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And no, it's not 50 gold in my bag. I am going to use that eventually, probably for a Beast Mastery off piece or something. I don't know. I got it. I'm going to use it. Anywho, there is Heroic Garrosh from a Survival Hunter Port in View. So again, I mentioned along the way that Beast Mastery is probably the preferred spec for this because it's a good single target. You get things in, and if you're really good at it and all that kind of stuff, you can really maximize your DPS. Especially, yes, you're going to cleave those ads for an amazing amount at the beginning, but I was on engineer duty. I was like, well, I know I can do like 85% of my normal damage. My pet's like 15%, 20% at most. So I'm just going to probably need to be survival unless I can sort of figure out how to do the whole blink strikes, cooldown, and make sure my pet can get up there or it's in range to use abilities. So I just settled on survival because I was assigned that. And then again, with this kind of fight that you're pulling over and over again, and you're trying to work through the longer and longer phases, once you get something stuck and down, you really don't want to choose it. In fact, a few nights before this actual kill, I tried to switch back to Beast Mastery and see if I could do it. Me and one of the other hunters were just talking about it, and we're like, oh, we should really try that. And, 2 wipes later, after we wiped again to the siege engineer not dying quickly enough, we're like, yeah, forget this. Let's just go with what we know. Too bad we're not playing the best spec for this, but whatever. Let's get this thing done. So, yeah, survival it was. I mentioned my talent choices: Murder of Crows, Fervor, Glaive Toss, Post Haste. And Post Haste was really nice also for getting back from engineer duty, although the lock portal was obviously one of those two. So, but yeah, I think that's all of the massive amount of tips and tricks and little things to point out. I'm bad for not double potting. Probably should have. I don't think I have. I'll admit this. I have my potion as something that I click as opposed to something that I keybind, just so that I don't accidentally do it. But apparently in this case, I didn't click it good enough. So bad me on that. Maybe I should also keybind that one to make sure it goes off. Although sometimes even if you're keybinding and the global CDE's kind of messing it up, I don't know. Sometimes that can, you're like sitting there jamming the keybind to get it to go just as well as you would be clicking it. But anywho, that's some minor points. Keybinds are better in general. I have quite a few, not everything, but for the most part I am. But yeah, what do you think? If you have got some additional tricks up your sleeves, toss them out there. So happy to having that done, and so happy to be able to talk, Warlords of Draenor beta some more. I will be streaming, as I said, as much as I can on raid nights where we're going to try to farm him again. So again, Wednesday and Thursday at 9:30 Eastern to midnight Eastern. Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. And then if I'm not doing that, I may also be streaming just me hanging out in the beta and doing stuff, usually fairly late at night after raid, or just if I don't have anything else that I'm doing. Like right now I've got a slate of things to do, the show, raid guides, that podcast, etc., etc. But I also do want to get myself to level 100, get in there, and then start doing maybe like heroic dungeon guides, because those are out. And I'd like to sort of experience the leveling content and then experience what it takes to gear up. If you can at this point, normal dungeons are dropping gear, but just sort of see how that goes. It's not necessary for me to do that for raid testing because they're item level scaling us, but I sort of want to feel that out, feel how it all happens. So, check me out on twitch.tv/getaraid. And as always, follow me at Twitter at GetterRaid. But yeah, lots of things going on for me. Raid guides, podcast, woo, lots of stuff. And thanks for sticking with me through vacation and all that other jazz. I am back and refreshed, and obviously I hope you can feel the energy, feel the love, feel the energy and the love. I don't know. Shrek is love? Wait, no. Scratch that. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. I'm also... I was just going to do my little spiel about comment, liking, and subscribing, and I just remembered, oh yeah, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which was about my intro. I'm like 100 away from it. I'm not, slowly creeping up there. I'm 900 some at this point. Maybe I'll do something for hitting 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if you guys have suggestions. Throw them out there. Reasonable suggestions. I was going to say I could shave like my beard off fully, but I did that back in November and had that little clip of like my beard regrowing, so that's not really like that novel. I don't know. Maybe you'd like to see it again. Who knows? Whatever. So if you haven't subscribed yet, get me to that 1,000 and see what I do. Alright guys, that's about it for now. I'm rambling at this point, so thanks for watching Overrated number 33, Heroic Garrosh Deep Dive. I'm going to say Heroic Garrosh like 3 more times, so Fetsy and all them at Tankspot are drunk. No. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good one.